I'm going to show you how to use the wait until date schema element. Let's get started. Hi everyone, I'm Watrous from VVork. If this is your first time here and you want to learn about automating, programming, and monitoring in VMware environments, you're in the right place. Start now by subscribing and click the bell so that you don't miss a thing. In a few moments, we'll take a look at how to use the wait until date schema element. But before we do, take a look in the upper right-hand corner. You'll find a playlist of all the videos in this series. All right, let's jump on ahead here. You'll recall in the previous video, we saw how to use a schema element called waiting timer. That one allowed us to specify, using a date object, allowed to specify the time and date we wanted our workflow to wake up in the future. Well, in this particular video, we're going to be taking a look at this other one called wait until date. So let's jump in and take a look at it in the lab environment. As you can see, I'm already in the VRealize client. I've gone to Library Workflows, and we're going to create a new workflow. And we'll call this workflow Wait Until Date. And we'll jump to the Schema tab to define it. Now in the previous video, we used Waiting Timer to specify when we wanted the workflow to wait till. This time though, we're going to go down to the basic section, and instead we're going to use Wait Until Date. So we'll drag Wait Until Date into our workflow, or into our schema more accurately. And if we go to the Inputs Output section, you can see that this schema element has a single input called Wait Date. Now I need my workflow to have a corresponding variable or input that I can hook this up to. So I can either go to the Variables tab or the Input Output tab and define that variable or that input in advance, or I can just go down here to Select Variable and choose to create a new variable or new input right here, right now. I'm going to click on Create New. And again, I can choose whether I want this to be a variable, which would mean I, the developer, get to control the value of this variable, or I could create an input to allow the end user to choose. But I choose a name for this variable. The default is going to match the name of the variable that the schema element has, so I'm just going to leave that the same. I am, however, going to type a description. So the point of this particular variable is it's going to be used to specify the date and time to wait until. Now, as you can see, this variable has automatically been set up to be a date type variable, and if we want to, we could use something such as a scriptable task and some JavaScript programming in which we do some date arithmetic. If you don't know how to do date arithmetic, go Google JavaScript tutorial date arithmetic, and you can learn all sorts of tricks to do date arithmetic. But instead, what we're going to do here to keep this example simple is we're just going to hard code the value by clicking here. And as you can see, it's popped up our usual date time picker. And I'm going to choose to have this workflow wait until a little later on today. So I'm going to say today, July 17th, but I'm going to tell it to wait. Why don't we have it wait, let's see, until 4:56. Sounds good. Let's create. We'll run the workflow. I need to save it first, so save and run the workflow. And now we're just going to kick back for a little bit while we wait for that workflow to complete. As you can say, it says that it's currently running. In reality, what's happening is the workflow, the Orchestrator server has saved the state of that workflow, so it's not consuming any CPU cycles at this point. And it's going to be effectively waiting or asleep until that date and time arrives. So let's kick back a little bit. I'll speed up the video, and we'll see what happens when this workflow is done waiting. As you can see, the workflow has finished waiting. Now, there's a little bit of time difference between the time on my computer here, my laptop, and the Orchestrator server. But over on the Orchestrator server, where the time is actually correctly time synced, it's now 4:56, and as a result, my workflow is done waiting. Join me in the next video where I'll show you how to use the Wait for Custom Event schema element.